Are you still confused about whether or not you need an ATC? I'm going to clear that up for you with this video. Welcome back, kids. Today I have the best PwnCNC ATC video on YouTube. And if you don't believe it, just watch and see. This is a long video. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking right here, but I cover a lot of in-depth information, and I'm going to show you every step of the way that I use to make my new logo plaque. Very happy with how it turned out. This is Mahogany. It was the first time I'd ever used Mahogany, and it won't be the last. So y'all kick back, grab 3 bags of popcorn, and enjoy the show. I'm going to show you how I made this baby right here. All right, we're in VCarve Pro. This is my new plaque I'm going to make. It's made out of mahogany. And let's look at the job setup right quick. 10 3/4 by 10 3/4. It's 0.875 thick and setting a Z on the surface. Bottom left XY, which is my corner of my fence, my G55. And I've got 20 toolpaths in this project, 12 tool changes, and I'm using 6 different tools. So some of those tools will be used multiple times. I could have grouped those together for the most part, but I chose not to because I really wanted to showcase the ATC and really give it a workout so y'all could see more about how the ATC actually works. So we'll just start right here. The first profile, this is 0.02 depth. This is just the outer circle. This will eventually be the cutout profile. As I've mentioned in several previous videos, when I can, I will always run a 0.02 depth profile cut on the stock before I actually begin the carve. And what that does is just shows me if the board is not level or if it's thicker in one area than the other. That 0.02 will show that very, very quickly. You'll know if your board's level or not. So that's why I do that. So anyway, I'm using the IDC Woodcraft the Beast. 1 pass. Nothing fancy. So close that. Then we have our inner pockets. That's these areas right in here. I could cut those as profiles, but when I do that, I would have to use tabs, and then somehow or another I'd have to get in there and sand away those tabs. And I've made that mistake before. It's just so much simpler and cleaner to just cut these out as pockets instead of profiles. For now, I'm only going to cut them to 0.2, and I'll explain why later in the video. So there's our depth. IDC Woodcraft the Beast, and an 1/8 inch upcut from Bits and Bits. And the reason I have to run the 1/8 inch is because that 1/4 inch can't get up in here as far as that 1/8 inch can. So that's why I did that. All right, so we got that. Let's close that one. And then the texture pocket. Let me show you what that is. All of this area in the center of the star is the texture, and I have to pocket out this area 1/8 of an inch. That kind of gives it a 3D look, and it also makes it much simpler when it comes to sanding. There's the texture pocket. I am going 1/8 inch deep. IDC Woodcraft the Beast again, and an 1/8 inch upcut from Bits and Bits. So we're still staying with those 2 bits for now. Let's close that. Then I have this inner pocket cleanup. And what this is going back around it's just a profile cut around each of these cutouts that we pocketed out earlier. And it's going to have a minus 0.01 inch offset that will allow it to carve just a little bit in there and clean up that IDC Woodcraft the Beast. But like I said earlier, it is not a finishing bit. It's a roughing bit. So we're going inside. Let's see. Nothing else to talk about there. Let's close that one. The texture pocket, that's the 1/8 inch bit that we're using to get on up in all those corners. And then we get to the text. This one I will be using the 60-degree Groovy Jenny, no flat depth. I'm just letting the bit determine how deep it needs to go in order to achieve that width. So that one. Then the stars, that is a 90-degree Groovy Jenny. Right here. No flat depth, just letting it do its thing. So close that. On the Mitchell's Woodwork up here, that's also going to be a 60. Because, see, I could have grouped all these 60s together, but I'm kind of spreading them out to work the ATC a little bit for y'all. But that's 60 degree, no flat depth. Just going to let it do its thing. Close that. Then we have the Searcy, Arkansas down here at the bottom, right here. That is also 60 degree, no flat depth. Close that. And then we got what I'm calling the banners, which are these areas right here. These are just going to be a profile cut with the 60-degree Groovy Jenny. Just got to cut the line is all I'm doing here. It's just a profile cut. It's just adding a little detail there. Cutting on the line. 0.04 depth. And if that's not deep enough, I'll go back and hit it again.
That's what she said.
So that's all of that.
Or he said.
And then the big circles. This is what I'm calling the big circles here. This one and this one. Again, this is just details. Makes it look nice. Using the 60-degree Groovy Jenny. 0.05 depth. And if that's not enough, I will go back and run it again. Well, actually, I'm going to start out 0.04 depth on that. Get back to our list here. Banner waves. All right, that's what these little things here, I'll just call them the banner waves. So there's two down here on the bottom banner, and then you got two up here. Actually, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 down here on the bottom one. These are pockets that are going to be cut out with the 1/8 inch upcut from Bits and Bits, and then it's going to come back and clean up those little corners because this is a small detail. It's going to clean up those corners with the 30-degree Groovy Jenny. Close that one. There's the banner waves again. So that first one there is the 1/8 inch upcut, and that one is the 30-degree Groovy Jenny. Then we have the banner waves VCarve, which are these little details here on the top. And those are on both banners. You see them right here. Those will be with the 30-degree Groovy Jenny 0.06. So actually, I'm going to start 0.04. Because I can always come back. If that's not deep enough, I can always come back and hit it again.
That's what she said.
Let's calculate that. Then we got the QR code here. This looks complicated, but all you got to do is let VCarve do its thing. Using the 30-degree Groovy Jenny, 0.04 depth. And I know that works because I did a test cut on that just to make sure. Because I want that QR code to be usable. Then we get to the texture. And this is what's going to take the most time. This will also be with a 30-degree Groovy Jenny. There's no clearing pass. This is just a VCarve cut. The VCarve engraving toolpath. My start depth is 0.125 because earlier we cut out this entire area to 0.125 depth. So now we're going to go down 0.125 before it starts carving these details. Now, center circle profile cleanup. What this is is right here. In case the 30-degree Groovy Jenny gets too close to this edge here and starts chipping away at the circle that's going to be standing proud here, I want to be able to come back and clean that up with this 1/8 inch downtown Jenny. And it'll be cutting on the outside. Oh yeah, and a minus 0.01. So it's just going to come in just a little bit right here and just make a profile around that raised area there. Hopefully clean up if there are any of the little indentions or grooves left over from that 30-degree groovy Jenny. Close that. Texture pocket cleanup, same thing. That's all of this area around the texture down here, and also there's one up here. We're going to go back and trace around that edge with the 1/8 inch downtown Jenny, and we're only going to go 0.11 depth. And if you'll remember, the texture starts at 0.125. Well, I don't want to really take a chance on cutting around here and it get accidentally getting down into that texture that we've already cut. So I just made it stop a little shy of the 1/4 inch. We're just going to go down 0.11, and it's going to do a separate last pass outward of 0.01. That will clean up the edges here in case the Groovy Jenny does get into it. Same as we did over here around the circular raised area. And then that just leaves the cutout, which will be the full depth IDC Woodcraft the Beast. We're just going to let that baby eat. We are doing a separate last pass of 0.01, just to come in just a little bit. And I ramp mine 20 degrees. That's always a good idea, when you're taking big chunks like this Toolpath is going to be doing. And close it out. So that's all of our Toolpaths. Our estimated time is hour and 3 minutes, so a little over an hour and 3 minutes. So we'll see. I expect it to run a little more, a little longer than that, but we'll find out. Let's look in here and I'll show you the tools. You can see, like, I have 19, which is the IDC Woodcraft the Beast. Then I come off of it and use the 1/8 inch upcut, and then I come back to the 19, and then to a 1/8 inch down cut, and then an 1/8 inch upcut, and then a 60-degree groovy Jenny, then a 90-degree groovy Jenny. And anyway, so I kind of spread those things out. I could have did this a lot more efficient, but like I said, I'm really showcasing the ATC as much as anything on this video. Okay, now I'm going to show you something in VCarve Pro that I don't talk a lot about because I'm not qualified to teach this, but it's layers. I'm just going to go through real quick and show you my layers. And so I got banners. These are in no particular order. This is just how they come up in VCarve Pro. My cutouts, texture, large text, QR code, waves, big circles, stars, texture pocket, custom signs text, profile, and the center circle. So I've been sitting here for several minutes trying to figure out a way to explain how to use layers, why you need layers, and simply put, I'm just not that guy. I'm not articulate enough to explain how to use it and why you need it. That's why I'm recommending you check out Garrett Fromme at IDC Woodcraft. I'll have a link below. Also, Mark Lindsay. I also have a link to his channel below too. Those two guys there taught me what I know about it. And I know how to use it, I just don't know how to explain it. So I apologize for that, but that's just one of my weaknesses. So, and I'm sure y'all have noticed that. So anyway, y'all check out those two guys, and they can get you lined out on this. But you need to learn how to operate and use layers in order before you can do anything intricate like this. It's just practically impossible to do it without layers. So I hope y'all can find some good help, and I know you will with those two guys. And there are others too, but those were my two mentors when I was learning VCarve Pro. So that's why I recommend them. All right, let's get back to the video. So let's just do a quick preview of it. Reset that. Preview on. And there we go. That's what we're going to look like. Get these off here. I will put the tabs back on there.
You sure about
For
that?
now, I wanted you to be able to see it without the outer cutaway pieces. So let's see how this thing goes. I'm going to bring up my Masso link, and we'll get this sent over to the Masso, and then I'll pick it up over there. All right, we're ready to cut this thing. I've got the file loaded up in the Masso. I've already got the first tool loaded in the spindle. So all I got to do is hit rewind, cycle start, and we're fixing to go to work. As you can see, I'd already run that 0.02 first profile. I did that just to save a little time in case I had to do a little shimming, and as it turned out, I did. So that's why I did that, but I'm just rerunning it here just to show the entire process. You'll notice here that I'm only cutting these inner pockets 0.2 for now, and I'll explain that in depth later in the video. Even though I'm only cutting 0.2 depth here and it will eventually be a through cut, I still run the two roughing passes, the clearing passes, and the finish pass at the end. So there's actually three tool paths that take care of those inner pockets. And I'm doing that now to make sure that all three of those tool paths are correct, that my offset on that final one is correct before I go any further. So that's why I'm doing this now. This tool path with the 1/8 inch bit is just to get into the areas that the 1/4 inch bit could not reach. If you haven't already did so, please give me a like and a subscribe. I'd sure appreciate it. If you have any comments or questions, please leave those down below. YouTube really pays attention to that, and the more feedback a video gets, the more likely they are to promote it out to new sets of eyes out there. So go help me out with that. I'd like to welcome Dave Crouse, our newest Caveman Club member. I appreciate you joining there, Dave. And for the rest of y'all, if y'all haven't joined yet, you really should think about it. All you have to do is click the join button down below, and you'll be able to read about the different tiers and the perks for each tier. So check that out. I'd sure appreciate it. We need more members, so all of y'all are very welcome to join. Any of you cavemen out there that have used Mahogany before, leave me a comment down below. Let me know how you prefer to finish Mahogany or how you would have finished this project. I certainly appreciate your feedback. I need it. Thanks. Here you can see that 30-degree groovy Jenny just barely bumping up against the edge of that raised circular area. And that's why I will go back later and do a point zero 0.01 finish pass to clear off any of those little bumps that the bit puts on there. Watching this 30-degree groovy Jenny cut that texture is just amazing. Literally, I could sit and watch that all day. And that is a groovy Jenny, even though it doesn't have the coating on it. That was a early, or well, no, that was a prototype that Cody sent out to a few of us to test out when he was first developing the 30-degree groovy Jenny. So I have one of the first, so pretty proud of that. But that's why it's not gold like the normal Jenny bits are. If you agree that this is the best PwnCNC ATC video on YouTube right now, leave me a comment down below. Let me know that. And also, a like and a subscribe is always appreciated. All right, we're going to stop right here for just a second. And the reason being is fixing to come back and cut out this entire plaque. Well, I'm not ready for it to do that. I need to come back and go ahead and cut through all of these, cut those completely out. Then I'll cut the plaque out. So let me do a little work on the computer and resend a revised file over, and we'll finish this thing up. Let me take a second to explain why I didn't cut all the way through on those pockets the first time. The reason is I learned from my mistake on this one that I did yesterday. Once you cut those pockets out, then it ruins the backside. You know, I flipped this one over and carved anyway on the back side of it, just trying different settings. But by doing that, by cutting all the way through right from the beginning, I couldn't flip over and use the back, you know, for a real piece, for a real finished plaque. So I just cut 0.2 depth to start with, and that way if something went terribly wrong, I could just put it in a planer, plane off 0.21, and then I would have I would still have a good piece of wood to work with. So that's why I did that. Now, all right, here's the file I just sent over here. The finished version. Gonna load that up. It's gonna look a lot different over here. All right, so what I'm gonna do is just home the machine. And there we are. So now we have a fresh start with the new finished version loaded up. So really, the only thing left to do is rewind. Well, let me go to my work origin. I always do that first. In case you wonder why I do that, that is to make sure that I have my G55 offset. I just call mine 55, but I have my G offset set to the XY0, which is the inside corner of my fence. And by hitting go to work origin, that just lets me confirm visually that yes, I'm ready to cut. So now rewind, cycle start. I want to thank all of y'all that have made it this far into the video. I really appreciate you sticking with me through this thing. I know it's a little longer than normal, but there's just so much to cover. I couldn't help it this time. But also, I want to mention to y'all that I am now an affiliate for Bits and Bits, and I have a 10% discount code in the description below this video. So if y'all need anything from Bits and Bits, be sure and check out my affiliate code. Right. The downtown Jenny, and it'll do the finish pass on the inside of those cutouts. You can hear it just barely touching there. And here's a great view of that bit just shaving the inside of those walls, cleaning it up nice and smooth. Now I believe we're going to grab the 60-degree movie guinea. Yeah, that's making a pretty good difference. Hey, go back and do them one more time. Now we're grabbing the 30-degree. This will be real short and sweet. I'm going to touch up those, what I call the banner waves. See in just a second. Yeah, that engraved part there, that line wasn't very deep. Yeah, that's looking better. Yep, looks pretty good. And here comes the bad boy. We're going to get this thing cut out. Whew. Man, I had turned off the tabs on that a little while ago so I could get a picture of it cut out on VCarve. That could have been tragic, but no problem. It just dropped straight down. Let's look at this thing. Sweet. All right, let me get it cleaned up and blowed off and really take a good look at this thing. Alright, so here's finished carve. I've been cleaning it up. This mahogany is a lot more fuzzy than cedar that I'm used to working with. I went through here with this pick and just cleaned out everything best I could and blowed it out. And then like on these weak lines here, the real small lines, I went through here and kind of try to etch them just a little bit deeper with this pick. Because what I don't want to happen is to sand through any detail, and that's I noticed like over here, some of these letters, the lines were pretty weak. That was really not the best font choice I could have made, but that's pretty weak right there. It wouldn't take much sanding to go through and just erase those little thin lines right there. So I'm gonna have to really be careful and watch that. And as a matter of fact, I had a warning because this is the test one I did the other day, and I have tried different stains and finishes on this one, just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. But look down here, though, you can see it did go through, and the sander did, and erased some of the details there in those letters. So I'm going to try my best not to have that happen this time. And this right here was just plain shellac, nothing added to it. That's just one coat, and really, I'm thinking that may be what I go with. I've tried tung oil, uh, clear, or just the plain tung oil. Then I had like medium walnut, dark walnut. This up here was the dark walnut, and I don't know. That's kind of muddy looking to me. I'm not real happy with that. This down here was the medium, I think. Uh, yeah. And anyway, I'm not happy with that color. That's really not the color I was expecting. So I think I'm just going to go with this. But first things first, I also learned this is a very open pore, open grain wood. And you can see there's paint down in the grains of that wood, which is something else that I don't really worry too much about with cedar. But yeah, you can see it really made a mess here. So I'm going to put sanding sealer on this one before I put any paint on it. In fact, I may do 2 or 3 coats of the sanding sealer because I don't want to take a chance on messing that up when I put that paint on there. So let me get it set up. I'll fix put that sealer on there. All right, got her painted. Let it dry and then sand it off. Well, not gonna lie, I'm nervous about this. I'm afraid I'm gonna get too deep and erase some of those details, especially in these letters right here. That's really the only part I'm worried about. Uh, just gonna go easy. Gonna start out with 150. I normally just use 80 grit when I'm taking the paint off, but I'm gonna go real light touch with the 150 and see what it looks like. starting to come along. Put me a new one on there. That one I just used had been used before. This one's brand new, so it's pretty sharp. Blow that off, see what it really looks like. Well, it's definitely, you see the paint still got in the grains, even though I used it sand. I put 2 coats of sanding sealer on there. Put my letters in this little thin line in here. I gotta really be careful with it. Don't want to lose that. I'm just gonna keep going with a light touch. Well, even though I put 2 coats of sanding sealer on it, it still got into the grain. The paint is still in the grains for the wood, so I'm just gonna have to live with that and embrace it, because I can't go. There's areas like right here. I mean, I literally can't even feel that line anymore, so I can't go any deeper there. And there's other places, like along this edge right here, that just, it feels flat. So I'm right on the edge of losing it, and I don't want to do that, so I'm going to keep it like this. Well, here we go. I'm just putting clear, transparent Bullseye Shellac on it. Nothing else. I thought about doing tongue oil, and I tested tongue oil on this one, the first one that I did, and I don't know, I don't like that kind of a muddy look. This center part, the QR code, I only put shellac on, and I like that kind of a blonde color, so I'm going to go with that. And if I screw it up, I know how to make another. And I'd make some changes too. I'd change this font. I can tell you that right now, because it's just too fragile when it comes to sanding. Oh wow, look at that. Now, that's what I'm looking for. Mm, 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 mm. That's what I imagined it looking like from the get-go. That right there. So glad I didn't use that tongue oil. And I know tongue oil is a very popular finish for mahogany. That's why I tried it. Now, actually, I tested 3 different kinds. I did just the plain clear, and then I had medium walnut and dark walnut on hand, so I tried those. But like I said, it just kind of looked muddy to me, and I didn't like that. Make sure I get every detail. And what I did with the test piece, y'all ignore that timber wolf howling in the background. Susie, shut up. That on the test piece, I just coated it real good, and then I blew it off with my air compressor. And that's what I'll do this time too. That seemed to work pretty good. messing with that. Yeah. Oh, I'm done for first coat anyway. I'm trying to coat them like that. See what it looks like. That's it for this one, kids. The marathon is over with. I think I've got 10 days in the first sign I did. It didn't turn out so well. Then the second one, and then almost a week of editing. So, man, it's like 10:30 Saturday night, August 3rd, and I am wore out. I'm hoping to get this thing finished up and uploaded in the morning, Sunday morning, about 7 o'clock, and take a few days off. But anyway, I hope y'all agree. That was a good ATC video, if I must say so myself. I'm very proud of this one, and I just can't brag on it enough. It's such a solid unit. I have not had 1 minute's trouble out of it since I've got it going. It just works, and it's just amazing. And I think the next sign that I make with it, I'm going to group my Toolpaths together like I normally would before I got the ATC. Try to run it as efficient as possible, because man, that thing, you can finish the sign pretty quick, if you group them right. I just did this one the way I did so y'all could see a bunch of tool changes, but it could definitely cut down on your carve time. There's no question about that. I didn't really think it would, because I was thinking, well, hell, I can change a bit in 30 seconds. I know that because I've seen myself do it on video 100 times, but I'm not as fast as that thing. That is amazing. So congratulations to the folks at PwnCNC. Y'all have made a wonderful product, and I can't recommend it high enough. And I'm not saying that just because it was give to me. It was give to me, but damn, what a game changer! That thing is incredible. Uh, Thanks for everything, y'all. Be sure give me a like, subscribe, share my videos. I'm up to this many members right now, subscribers, I should say. Thank y'all very much for subscribing, and if you haven't already, you better, after I'll put all this effort into this video. All right, I'm going to leave y'all alone for the rest of the night. Y'all take care. I'll see you on the next video. I ain't never been this tired and lived over it.
I'm done. Cut the show. I'm done. Take me off.